Today we are making an incredible lemon cheesecake with a crunchy slightly salty crust, a smooth and creamy lemon filling, bright lemon curd and fluffy toasted meringue. The flavor is perfectly balanced, sweet, tangy, creamy and refreshing all at the same time. And the best part, it's much easier to make than it looks. Let's get started. The base dough: all-purpose flour 180 grams, almond flour 60 grams, powdered sugar 60 grams, sugar 50 grams, salt 5 grams, lemon zest from 1 lemon, butter cold 80 grams, egg yolks 2 pieces. In a stand mixer bowl, combine the dry ingredients: flour, almond flour, sugar, powdered sugar, salt and lemon zest. Mix until uniform. Add the cold butter cut into small cubes and mix until the mixture turns into fine crumbs. Add the egg yolks one by one. Mix the dough just until it forms a cohesive crumb suitable for rolling. Don't overmix at this stage. Gather the dough into a bowl. Place it on your work surface and divide it into 2 equal parts. Place each piece of dough between 2 sheets of parchment paper and roll it out into a flat sheet 2-3 mm thick. If your oven is large enough, you can roll the entire dough out into a single sheet. Before baking, prick the dough with a fork in several places to prevent air bubbles from forming during the bake. Transfer the roll-out dough on a flat surface into the freezer for 1 hour. Repeat with the second half of the dough. Bake at 160 degrees for 15-20 minutes, depending on thickness, until the edges are golden. Let it cool completely, then process it in a blender into fine crumbs. Restructuring the crust. Take a culinary pastry ring, place a sheet of foil on your work surface, top it with a slightly smaller piece of parchment paper and tightly seal the ring from the outside using the foil. Place the preparing ring on a small baking sheet. Slightly melt the butter and mix it with the crumbs until it resembles wet sand. It should clump together when squeezed in your hand. Start forming the sides first, about 6 cm high and of medium thickness, pressing firmly with a spoon. Then form the bottom also of medium thickness, pressing down firmly with a flat lid or spoon. Run a spoon along the inner base corner to ensure a sharp 90 degrees angle. This guarantees a beautiful meat slice later. Bake the compacted crust at 160 degrees for 12 minutes. Let it cool completely before pouring in the cheese filling. Baking caramelizes the sugar and fuses the crumbs into a solid monolith that prevents moisture from seeping through. A lemon curd, lemon juice 125 grams, sugar 70 grams, egg yolks 72 grams, cornstarch 10 grams, butter soft 60 grams, lemon zest from 1 lemon. In a saucepan, whisk together the egg yolks, sugar and cornstarch. Add the lemon juice and zest and whisk until fully combined. Cook over medium-low heat until it thickens to the consistency of heavy sour cream. Run your whisk across the bottom of the pan. If the tray holds for 1-2 seconds, the curd is ready. Remove from the heat and add the soft butter. Stir until completely melted and incorporated. You can use an immersion blender for a perfect emulsion, but mixing well with a spatula is perfectly fine. Pass the curd through a fine mesh sieve into a bowl, stir and cover with cling film in contact. the film must directly touch the surface of the curd to prevent the skin from forming. Let it cool at room temperature for about 30 minutes. It doesn't need to cool completely. Then refrigerate. Cheese filling, cream cheese 500 grams, sugar 95 grams, eggs 2 pieces, egg yolks 1 piece, heavy cream 70 grams, cornstarch 10 grams, salt 1 pinch, lemon zest from 1 lemon, lemon curd 120 grams. For the lemon layer, mix the cream cheese, sugar, cornstarch and salt until smooth using a paddle attachment or a spatula. Add the yolk, the whole eggs one by one and the lemon zest. Mix each egg just until incorporated about 20-30 seconds to avoid beating excess air into the batter. Add the heavy cream and gently fold until combined. Divide the mixture into 2 parts. The white part should weigh roughly 450 grams and the remaining part roughly 375 grams. Mix the smaller portion with 120 grams of your prepared lemon curd until uniform. Transfer both fillings into disposable piping bags. Pipe the lemon layer onto the cooled crust first. Smooth the surface and lightly tap the pan against the table to release trapped air bubbles. Pipe the white layer on top, smooth the surface and tap against the table again. Preheat your oven thoroughly for 45-60 minutes. Open the oven and carefully pour 350 grams of boiling water into a hot, empty baking tray placed at the bottom. Place the cheesecake on the middle rack, close the door and bake at 125 degrees for 1 hour and 30 minutes. The edges should be stable and set, while the center should still jiggle like jelly. Turn off the oven and prop the door open about 3-5 centimeters. You can use a roll-up towel to hold it. Leave the cheesecake inside for 60 minutes. Remove the cheesecake from the oven and leave it on the counter at room temperature for 2 hours. Once completely cooled to room temperature, refrigerate overnight. Italian meringue and assembly. Egg whites 90 grams, sugar 180 grams, water 50 grams. Whip the egg whites on medium speed until they form a dense, uniform foam, similar in texture to beer foam. Simultaneously heat a syrup made of water and sugar in a saucepan until it reaches 118 degrees. Pour the hot syrup into the whipping egg whites in a thin, steady stream. Continue whipping until stiff, glossy peaks form. Spread a thin layer of the remaining lemon curd over the chilled cheesecake. Pipe or spread the Italian meringue on top and toast it using a culinary blowtorch. And that's it! Our lemon cheesecake is ready! Creamy, delicate, with a bright lemon flavor and a perfectly balanced texture in every bite. The crunchy crust, silky filling, and fluffy toasted meringue make the dessert truly special. Thank you for baking with me, and I will see you in the next recipe. Bye!